hockey's grown, man. It's and
Yeah.
and with Team USA last week, hockey is continuing to grow. What Team USA did for the country last week, unfortunately, they came up a little short. But they made a lot of non-hockey people hockey people. You got JJ Watt, you got all these celebrities that you and I both know, may not know them, but we follow them on social media, whatever. People are tweeting out about Team USA. It's on the news. It's on Fox News. It's on CNN. It's on all the big TV
Everything.
stations. It was fantastic.
And even going on to Instagram, right? And seeing some of the posts that non-hockey fans were saying, right? People from every ethnic background,
Yeah,
every part of the country, every part of the world that are like, hey, I never watch hockey. I don't
right.
know hockey. I don't like hockey, but I like hockey now, you
Yeah.
know? So let me start this whole Four Nations conversation as whoever's idea this was,
Mhm.
congratulations.
Right.
This was a massive success.
Yeah.
This was a grand slam home run idea that not only was great for the league, but it was great for hockey and the hockey world, right? So I didn't know what to expect coming into it. We had conversations leading to it. I think we both said, this is crazy doing this in the middle of the season. This is crazy stopping us an NHL season so we can have Four Nations battle it out. What if they get hurt? What if all these scenarios, and then boom, that first game happened, and I was roped in. Boom, the second game happened. I was more excited. And then Saturday comes, US versus Canada, and the whole world was sucked in. And it was amazing to watch the competitive level, to watch the physicality of the games, to see how the NHL players bought into a mini tournament within a NHL season where they have a Stanley Cup goal in mind. Tells you why NHL hockey players are the greatest athletes, the most
They
respectful,
are.
the most proudest, and I think they showed the sporting world how you're supposed to act as a professional athlete.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, buddy. You know, I you and I will talk about the injury thing because you and I got into it weeks ago about I was saying they wanted to play for their country and you agreed, but you talked about the implications of having injuries, and we'll get into what injuries there are now in a few minutes. But I was looking forward to it, but it far exceeded my expectations.
100%.
I don't think any of us thought that it was going to be to this degree. If people thought that it was going to be like an all-star game where there wasn't a lot of checking, man, were we ready for the complete opposite? Because it just goes to show, and you just alluded to it with hockey players, they're the most tremendous athletes that I've ever known, the most generous with their time, but they're so passionate about putting, whether it's Team Finland, Team Sweden, the US, Canada, putting on their country's jersey. All of a sudden a switch goes off and they are ready to go through a wall. And we saw that in all the games. It was absolutely the best. And I know with the All-Star game, you've got to do it every couple of years because it really is the All-Star game at the end of the day is for the corporate sponsors to wine and dine them and take them down to South Florida, and take them to an All-Star game. But man, oh man, if the next time we have an All-Star game, it's going to be a major letdown because this was incredible. And next year we won't have an All-Star game because we're going to have the Olympics. And I said to Bronson driving in the truck to hockey the other day, I go, I'm already jacked up for the Olympics next year, JR.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be awesome.
I think that just set the tone, right? We just got an appetizer of international hockey on the highest level. Hey, maybe they do bring back the All-Star game and they give out different incentives. Maybe
Sure.
there's a sponsor out there that will give a certain amount of money per hit in the All-Star game, right? For charity. For every hit, we're going to give $10,000 to somebody, right?
I remember you threw a hit in an All-Star game and you
Yeah,
pissed everybody.
I had Alexei Zhitnik a couple times back
Yeah,
to
you,
back. And
you
then,
pissed everybody off.
yeah, and then Big Walt got me in my last in 2004 in Minnesota. He hit me pretty hard. He wanted to throw it back at me, which is okay, which is great. All right, let's chat about this game. Let's
Yeah.
chat about the whole final thing. So leading up to Thursday's game, and you're right, every single news outlet, every single eye was on the NHL. There was nothing else really in the world of sports on Thursday except this game. And when you have CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, TNT, Fox News, everybody was covering it. It was great for the world. And obviously,
Yeah.
politics came into play with,
Yeah, it did.
the governor of the 51st state and
Yeah.
Donald Trump going back and forth, Trump calling the team. I was nervous going into the game. I gotta tell you. I mean, to beat a team like the Canadians in that roster 2 times in a row is one thing, but I knew that the U.S. team was banged up.
Yeah.
I knew they were sore. I knew they were beat up. A couple of the guys, really really big guys, that very important guys, were not even at 60% in terms of their health.
They weren't
And
even practicing.
and still played.
Right.
McAvoy was out, which was probably the big loss when it comes to kind of slowing down Connor McDavid, or at least neutralizing Connor McDavid. But I was nervous going into the game. I don't know how you felt.
I was 100% the same way. I said to anybody that asked me here in St. Louis, who do you think's going to win? And I said, it is pretty tough to hold down Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Sidney Crosby on 2 games in a row. I was on the same mindset as you. I did not have a good feeling about it. I said to my son, I said, because Binnington's a St. Louis guy. We live in St. Louis. We root for the Blues and Binnington. And I said to him driving to school, I go, Bronson, I said, we need Binner to let in a couple softies tonight, because I said, and sure enough, who scores? McKinnon and McDavid. But to all the critics out there that were questioning Jordan Binnington and should he even have been in this championship game? He, for whatever reason, first of all, I was thinking about this a couple days ago, and I wanted to ask you about this. You know how some golfers always play well at a certain course, like in the
Some
PGA.
goaltenders have played better in certain buildings.
Jordan Binnington, 2019 against Boston, it should have been 3-1 after the first period for Boston. He absolutely stole that game. He was incredible. Here we have, fast forward 5 years later, he's back in Boston. Does an athlete, JR, because you were there, does an athlete walk into a building and go, oh man, I feel
100%.
I'm at home?
100%. I did that every time I walked into Maple Leaf Gardens,
Really?
or Air Canada Center.
Yeah.
I felt like that every time I walked into Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I absolutely felt very comfortable. And this is a great story, because I was walking out of the Boston Garden, and there were 2 guys that were all dressed up in USA gear, right? And they were pissed because Americans lost, but they were more pissed at Binnington, because Binnington stole that game.
Yeah.
Those saves that he made in overtime were absolutely spectacular saves. They were the 4 best saves of the whole tournament for Binnington, and it was in overtime. And the Boston Bruins, these guys are Boston kids, right? They're Boston fans. And the guys were like, I hate that effing Binnington. I hate him. He kills us here in Boston.
Yeah.
He kills us. He beat the Bruins in Game 7. Now he beat the U.S. tonight. He goes, and I went to thinking about it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yes. Binnington thrives in this building.
He does. And
he showed it.
And he thrives in the big games. He thrives in the spotlight. Listen, he's played decent this year. Hasn't played I don't think and I think he'd be the first to admit to the level that maybe he expects of himself, but he's also not playing in front of one of the best teams in the NHL either. I think unless something drastically happens, I think Doug Armstrong, if I remember correctly, is the GM of the Olympic team, and obviously John Cooper is going to be the coach. Um, how do you not say, "Hey, Bennington's our guy," until somebody else steals it from him? Because this guy, we know the famous line, "Do I look nervous?" He likes the spotlight, buddy.
Yeah, he really does. Well, listen, I don't think he did. I don't think he played very well during the tournament. I mean, he let in
He
some
played
good goals.
okay.
He played
Yeah,
okay. Didn't play
yeah,
bad, but
yeah.
you know, didn't really impress anybody, right? So, to win those games, it comes down to sometimes the goaltender is going to save you, right?
Right.
Sometimes the goaltender is going to be the guy that's going to win the hockey game for you. Um, there was one big shot by Canada in overtime, and it's the one that went in.
Mm-hmm.
And as great as Hellebuck played the entire tournament, as great as he played, he didn't make that one save for the U.S.
I know.
Now, could he have? It was arguably as good a shot as you can make from that side. It is a lefty going far side.
Right.
There is definitely a good chance of Hellebuck getting that hand up there. It wasn't like it was out of reach, or unless he was out of position. But the difference was Binnington made the saves
Mm-hmm.
and Hellebuck missed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not making any blame, but that's how small the margin of
Mm-hmm.
error is to win a championship or to win a tournament or to win a Stanley Cup. And that game showed it.
Well, my good friend, who Andy Strickland, him and Cam Jansen do this Cam and Strick show. Strick tweeted out something during the game. He goes, "Are we going to see the Jordan Binnington of the playoffs and the Connor Hellebuck of the playoffs?" Because if you remember last year against Colorado, Hellebuck was terrible against Colorado.
Yeah.
So you know what? I love the guy. Wasn't a trophy winner, going to win it probably back to back years, but he's got to be able to show that he can steal a game for somebody in the big moment.
Yeah.
And until he does that, he won't go down as a great goaltender. He'll go down as a good goaltender, but he's got to rise and win that big game. So listen, one other thing on that goal, Austin Matthews took some heat as he left McDavid alone. But what's so ironic is literally 45 minutes before that goal, I was going to tweet out, "Man, Austin Matthews is a tremendous two-way hockey player. He made some great back checks,
He
broke
played a
up.
great game. He played a great final game. It was his best game of the tournament, Austin Matthews.
He really did. It was a missed assignment by him, I guess. I don't know. You
Yeah,
know
but
better
yeah,
than
but
I
was
do.
it?
But
I want to break this down for you, and I want you to understand how hard this job was for Austin Matthews. This particular play. Um, I do want to say I would think that Team USA would expect more from Austin through the tournament. He
mm-hmm,
didn't score a goal the whole tournament,
right,
which was surprising. But he was the best player in the last game.
yeah, he
Austin
was.
Matthews was with the exception of Slavin.
Jeez,
I mean, we'll talk about him in a minute too. Besides Slavin, Austin Matthews was the best player, and Brady Tkachuk.
yeah,
Brady Tkachuk also. So those three were the stars by far. Not even close. Not even close second. Um, but let's break down this goal, okay? Because you when I say that this whole game was so great, if you could have written a script on how you wanted it to go, Austin Matthews scores the goal
mm-hmm,
from Jack Eichel, and pick another one, pick another
yeah.
superstar, right? From
Matthew
Matthew
Tkachuk,
Tkachuk,
yeah,
right? That's one. But you got an overtime goal from, and I don't even think it's an arguable. I think the three best players in the world. Okay, Cale Makar,
yeah,
Nathan MacKinnon, and Connor McDavid. So I want you to kind of, and I know this is going to be long-winded, but everybody says, how does Connor McDavid get wide open in the slot? How does he get all, why do they leave him like that? Okay. There's a lot of things that kind of go into the chemistry, the mentality of the course of a play.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, the face-off was to the right of Hellebuck in the right circle.
Yep.
I hated, because I'm a right-handed shot.
Mm-hmm.
I hated taking face-offs in the left-hand side because I'm off. I have to pull all the way across my body, right? It's an awkward
Right.
move. Why Austin Matthews is taking that face-off when Jack Eichel is a righty?
Mm-hmm.
He's in that area, right? Number one, he's on his strong suit. He had one of the best face-off percentages of the game, if not of the tournament. Okay, but you have a lefty in Austin Matthews taking that against Connor McDavid, a very good face-off guy who is a lefty.
Right.
Okay, so he's on his strong side.
Right.
So right there, automatically wrong people on the face-off for US. Okay, that's my opinion, number one. So now you have Connor McDavid wins the puck back to the point. Now Team USA is getting in defensive mode on the right side of the ice. The puck gets thrown all the way around to the far blue line on the boards where Cale Makar goes and gets the puck.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now the whole play have shifted to the other side. So now all 5 players have to readjust, come all the way over and make different defensive assignments, pick up certain guys, pick up lanes. Do you know where Nathan MacKinnon goes? Nathan MacKinnon goes all the way in the opposite corner.
Yep.
With his feet against the boards and stands there. While everybody else goes over here, Nathan MacKinnon goes and stands on the complete opposite corner of Cale Makar.
It's like they played together.
Okay, Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon play together.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a big asset for them.
Yeah.
Big benefit. The whole play now comes over to Cale Makar. Cale Makar holds it until he waits till the last second, till everybody gets over. Whap! He throws that puck all the way around.
Yep.
Where MacKinnon is standing right there. He's a righty. He has all the time in the world to get that puck off the boards. Now, all the USA is panicking. Now they have to move all 5 guys back to the other side. And you have one of the most dangerous players in the world that has the puck. So the defenseman goes, and all McDavid has to do is to go into that slot.
Uh-huh.
Into that quiet zone.
That quiet area, yep.
But there's so much confusion because of that puck changing sides so quickly.
Right.
Austin gets kind of caught veering towards the puck, as does the defenseman. So you have 2 guys leaning towards the puck. You have a right-handed guy in MacKinnon. He makes one move to the outside, creates the lane. You have Connor McDavid, who's in the slot, a lefty, which creates more space for that pass. And it was a very simple tape-to-tape pass right to Connor McDavid. And by the way, Connor McDavid is going to be open even if Austin Matthews is 1 foot out of position.
Yeah.
1 foot.
Yeah.
Because of this. And of course, you have the most talented player in the world who has that puck on his stick and off his stick and in the top of the net within a matter of a split 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which not many players in this world could do, because what they would do, they get it, they'd sweep it, then shoot it. He got it and shot it in the same motion, which with the accuracy that he did is one of the most incredible shots I've seen in so long, and talent riddled that it just, so when you break it all down, it was an amazingly perfectly technically planned play that worked to a T, and there was nothing USA could have done about it. The only thing that could have been done is Hellebuck makes a big save and robs McDavid.
He would have he would have had to have robbed him. Exactly. So, I don't know many goalies that are going to make that save. It was
exactly, which I get, but I mean, again, he could have robbed him. I mean, Binnington made that big glove save that with that high shot that was tattooed
Uh-huh.
to the left corner earlier in the overtime, that he got it, and he could have missed it, but he got it. Hellebuck could have got it, but he didn't, and the game was over.
Yeah.
I am not putting any blame on Hellebuck, with
No,
no
no, I know
question.
you're not.
He played awesome, but it was the perfect play with the perfect players and the perfect shot. Period. End of
Period.
sentence.
Yeah.
What a storybook series.